Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Jodi Moore, Brand Strategy Specialist with Consumer Focused Marketing. And this is Kim. She's our Digital Marketing Design Manager and kind of splits her time between email and web design. We both have the pleasure of interacting with our clients regularly between sending marketing for approval and conducting calls to plan new websites. For this reason, customer communication is something that's pretty near and dear to both of us. And so today we plan to dive into customer communications and their importance in your overall company mission. So more specifically, we'll cover how your website impacts the customer experience, the importance of timing when it comes to marketing communication, the approach to customer service, and the importance of the language that you use. And then we'll wrap it up with some ways consumer-focused marketing can help you step up your game. If you have questions during the presentation, please feel free to enter them into the questions box when they come to mind, and we'll be happy to answer them at the end. So let's jump in. The reason we wanted to do this webinar is because we work with amazing people and great companies doing wonderful things every day. But sometimes we do see communication kind of falling by the wayside a little bit. This creates situations where opportunities are lost simply because there was a lack of communication or maybe a misunderstanding that prevented the message from reaching the customer. The more opportunities we miss, the fewer chances we have to make the customer's experience better. Kim and I will help you learn how to recognize and capitalize on those opportunities so you can help your customers in the most comprehensive way possible. Because sometimes customers don't know all of your offerings. Chances are they like working with you, they're sticking with you. Many of them have been your customer for years or sometimes even decades, but maybe they don't know all the services you offer. If they need something, don't let them go to someone else just because they don't know that you provide it. Customers want to have a one-stop shop for everything because they have to do less background work explaining, what else is going on in their home. All of the facets can work together to support one another. For example, auto delivery, budget plan, auto pay can kind of all work together. And also it makes it easier for the customer to know who to call if there is a question or an issue or an emergency or maybe an upgrade that they want. There's no, worrying or stressing about which of the maybe 5 phone numbers they have on hand for one thing or another. I get to work with my energy company clients all the time on projects, which is great. And normally at the end of our discussions, I'll try to mention value add services that consumer focused marketing offers that could kind of help them achieve their specific goals, just as a way of making sure that my customers are aware that we offer those services. This isn't a sales tactic. I'm the farthest thing from a saleswoman, but it's an opportunity for me to just make sure that they're aware of what we can offer to them. I would be so sad if they, felt like they had to go somewhere else for parallel marketing service that maybe consumer-focused marketing provides, just because I didn't take the time to mention it to them and let them know that it's an option. Okay, so now Kim will get us started on how to make sure your customers know everything you offer all in one place.
All right. So your website, it's one of the main communication tools your customers and potential customers have with you. It should be kind to them, just like a customer service rep would be on the phone. So make sure it has all your services easy to find. They're in the menu and organized in a way that makes sense for the customers to find. So they can really get that information that they need when they need it. What are people calling you about? Make sure that's easy to find on your website. A great tool for this can be frequently asked questions. It can be a page or just a section. This gives people a quick answer, and it's becoming increasingly important for AI searches as well. AI searches are getting more and more popular by the day. There's some stats we have to back that up. So 75% of people are using AI search tools more than they did just a year ago. 47% of consumers say AI influences which brands they trust, and about 56% of total search activity globally is utilizing AI tools. So that's something to keep in mind when people are searching for you. We also need to think about the different users on your website. How do they want to contact you? Does everyone want to call you? Do you have customers that don't know how to use online forms? You want reaching out to your company to be easy and reliable for everybody. In general, make sure you have options. Customers who want a real person can get you on the phone. Customers who want to contact you after hours or just don't like talking on the phone, like me, should have options for a form that's easy to use and gets delivered to you. You also want to make sure those are answered in a timely manner. You don't want people to submit a form and then don't know if you get it because they didn't get a response timely. To top this off, there are many options for things like live chat. This can be an AI service, or it can be a real representative from your company ready to answer questions for your customers. A great website shows that you are trustworthy and that you invest time and energy into your business. A bad website can feel really fake or scammy, especially for this younger generation, upcoming homeowners. They really expect a high quality website. And if you don't have that, that's kind of the bare minimum that they're looking for. Now we're going to dive into a little bit about timing and relevance of messaging. So on your website, people are coming to you. With outreach marketing, you are going to them. So think email, SMS, text messaging, social media. You want to think about who you're reaching and when you are reaching them. You'll want to segment or separate out your list to make sure customers aren't getting irrelevant messaging. This works great, especially for email and text message marketing. For example, you don't want your auto delivery customers to get an email promoting auto delivery sign up. This can be confusing and makes it seem like you don't know your customer base, and it can lead to more unsubscribes from your list. So you want them to be able to get information from you, and if they're unsubscribing, they're no longer on your list. So segmentation and personalization helps results for this type of marketing more than you would think. Segmented campaigns can achieve over a 14% higher open rate and over 100% higher click rate than non-segmented campaigns. 91% of consumers prefer brands that offer relevant recommendations. 80% of consumers are more likely to purchase from a brand offering personalized experiences. So you also want to build those good relationships by offering information and not just pushing sales. So this can look like seasonal tips and tricks, links to blogs with seasonal information, sharing and attending local events. That really shows that you're part of the community. Giveaways, communicating proactively when prices spike, especially around right now. Unfortunately, that's relevant. Things like happy birthday messaging or customer anniversary messaging. And keeping your customers generally in the loop. For example, if your service plan offerings change, if you're moving from a percentage part discount to certain part listings or anything like that, if you have a different offering, you want to notify your customers, notify your service plan customers, let people know what the changes are so that they're not surprised when they contact you for something. Also think about the timing of this messaging. Make sure it's relevant. So thinking back to when I just mentioned the seasonal tips, this should send at the start of the season, or if there's particular seasonal weather coming up. So think a big snowstorm or a heat wave. That's a great time to hit people with that messaging. Saving offers for specific holidays, program enrollment for think budget plans, pre-buy, or any other plans that you have that has a defined enrollment period. These can be customized to have the customer's exact prices, and that information can even be pushed to a form to make it easier for signups for the customer and more efficient for you as well. So the message timing for actual time of day or day of week can be tested to your individual contact list. So depending on where you're sending your emails from, it could be as simple as clicking a button that says send to when my contacts are most likely to open, or it may need a little bit more testing to figure out when your audience is opening things. So I have a couple of examples of this type of marketing here. So you can see we have a pre-buy email over on the side here that has the actual amount for the customer. We have some different details in that second one. Then there's the St. Patrick's Day coupon there with some savings. We have spring to-dos, and we have a summer free grill tank refills with a giveaway. Those are just some examples there for you. All right, back to Jodi.
Thank you. Okay, so now let's discuss the live customer service part. I want to focus on a couple key aspects to guide your approach. I do wish we had more time because this is really just the tip of the iceberg, but we're doing the crash course today. So buckle up, let's go. We'll discuss customer service as a tool to drive acquisition and retention, conflict resolution, this is a big one, so taking ownership, addressing customer concerns, finding the root of the problem, and determining a solution that they're happy with. And then lastly, always striving to move customers up the ladder so that they have more roots within your company and are more likely to stick around long term. So rapid fire tips. Collaborate with personnel to come up with answers to frequently asked questions. You can have an introductory and closing script to make sure that people have all of the most important points in front of them. Work into the end of the script, you know, Mrs. Jones, is there anything else I can help you with today before I wrap up? Or have I addressed all of your concerns today? Or while I have you, I wanted to let you know that we actually have a customer portal where you can do this exact thing. You know, I'm also happy to help, but this will allow you to check your invoices whenever you like. Or thank you so much for calling in today. Would you be willing to leave us a review on Google or Facebook? If so, I can email you a link right now. You know, make it easy for them. Next, implement the 5 S's. So smile, even on the phone. Customers can hear the difference. Speak softly, don't intimidate them. Keep answers short and friendly without rambling. I'm tempted to expand on that, but I will resist. Simple, don't overcomplicate things. And slow. You may explain water heater flushes multiple times a day, but this might be the first time the customer is ever hearing about it. So they need some time to process what you're telling them. Next, let them know how you're working to solve the issue, because most of the time you may have them on the phone, so they can't see you or what you're doing. So talk them through what you're doing while silent. You know, sure thing, Mrs. Jones, I'm pulling up your account now so I can see the last time you got a delivery. And then lastly, low-hanging fruit here, use their name. Never underestimate how much people love hearing their name. So work it into the conversation multiple times whenever possible. You know, when they first tell you who's calling. Oh, hi, Tamara, thanks for calling in. You can work it in throughout the conversation where appropriate, you know. Oh, Rob, it sounds like not having to worry about pricing would alleviate some stress. And then at the end of the call too. Mr. Engel, have I resolved all of your concerns today? So now let's talk about conflict resolution. There are 4 main steps to professional and effective conflict resolution. First is apologize. Even if it's not your fault, apologize for them having to deal with the problem. Listen to their concerns. Assure them that they've come to the right place and you can help them. And then solve the problem. Find a solution that will turn things around. So let's look at an example. Let's say a customer is upset about pricing and just wants the lowest cost per gallon. I feel like that's pretty relevant right now. So apologize. I'm so sorry that the price is not what you had in mind, Mr. Jones. This disarms them by showing that you as a human understand how they're feeling. Next, listen. You know, Mr. Jones, it sounds like you have had a lot of costs to juggle lately, and I'm sure that this is not making it any easier on you. Next, assure them. You know, luckily, Mr. Jones, you're connected with me today, and I have a few ideas on how we can make the situation easier for you. And then solve. Did you know, Mr. Jones, we offer a no added cost plan that will divide your heating bills into 12 equal monthly payments? And also, if you are willing to sign up for autopay, it will knock a further 10 cents off per gallon. Is this something that you'd be interested in learning more about? The main point here is solution-oriented thinking. And this is the big part, guys. This is the most important thing that I will share today. This is the key, I think, to easier and more effective conflict resolution. You have to not only hear the words that the customer is saying, but you have to dig down past that to find the root of their concerns. And then you have to know your company's offerings well enough to find a solution that addresses that root. So mastering this technique, again, is going to just make things go more smoothly than you have ever seen in the past. So definitely worth practicing. And lastly, make it a habit to offer those value-add services that contribute toward customer needs or concerns. So active listening, and then again, addressing the root of the problem. So, Mrs. Jones, you mentioned that you travel a lot, but I noticed that you actually order fuel manually when your tank starts to get low. Have you looked into having your tank filled automatically? Or maybe you see that they're on automatic delivery, and then you can recommend a budget plan to go along with that. If they're on a budget plan, suggest a service plan. If they're satisfied, ask them to refer their friends or write a review. Just always be on the lookout for the next opportunity and let their conversation guide your recommendations. So that way you are suggesting services that will truly provide value for them. This is the difference between feeling like that pushy salesperson that no one wants to talk to on the phone, compared to enhancing their experience as a customer of your company. So if you do want to save a lot of time and energy when implementing upgraded customer communication strategies, our marketing agency has helped countless customers over the years. As Kim mentioned, we developed standout websites that present a great face for new and existing customers. And again, this is something that the next generation really does expect. Digital marketing, where we do all the heavy lifting. You don't have to waste time educating us about the industry because we're already familiar with it. Customer service training. So this is where we come to your location and we work directly with your CSRs and technicians. All of our customer service trainings start with a focus group with your employees, so that we can kind of learn sticking points that they may or may not be comfortable sharing with management directly. And then we use those to guide the training. And then review management. So this would be testimonials. We can help you get more higher star reviews from your customers, because star ratings do say a lot and online reputation is important. So we have techniques to help you get more feedback from happy customers, just because we all know that a lot of times it's only the customers who are not satisfied who think to write a review. So we help the customers who are satisfied, remember to do that. So if any of these pique your interest, feel free to reach out to me or Kim, or you can visit consumerfocusmarketing.com. All right, and with that, it's time to open the floor in case we have any questions. Please feel free to enter them into the questions box now if you haven't already. I usually have people ask what is the best place to start with improving customer communication. And it's really hard to choose just one spot. But I would say if I had to pick one, I would say updating your website, just because that's the number one place that current and future customers will go to learn more about your business. And their user experience can truly make or break perception about your brand. So Kim, do we have any questions?
I don't see any questions. I had one more that comes up quite a lot, is worrying about spamming your customers by sending too much marketing. So just kind of to retouch about list segmentation, this is really about including or discluding people based on services, or there's a lot of different ways that you can segment your list. You can use any type of data you have about your customers. So this can be service type, program enrollment, last service date or delivery date. Anything that you have about them would be a great way to segment those lists. Maybe they haven't gotten a delivery all season. You go back to the people that got deliveries last year and remove the people that got deliveries this year, and you can send out a message, hey, do you need fuel? And that would be a great way to segment your list. Plus, email platforms have predicted demographic like age, gender, location that can be used if appropriate for your campaign.
Yeah, I do have people asking me about that too. I think that sprinkling in, the helpful non-salesy information can help too. So let's say you're posting on social media once or twice a week, sprinkling in, community involvement or non-salesy things, energy saving tips, that type of thing can be helpful. But also just not worrying about it too much, because customers, you as the marketing person are seeing every piece of marketing you put out there, but customers are not seeing everything. They, might catch an email this week. They might, see a Facebook post a couple times a month, but they're not seeing every piece of it. So, you know, um, spreading it out will help with the people who do see, pieces here and there, and they won't feel spammed even if you feel like you're putting out a lot.
Great. I do have one question in the chat.
Okay, awesome.
All right. There's customers that state they don't understand their price contract. How do you explain to them that they used all their gallons? And then they ask why we didn't tell them in advance.
Okay, so customers are reaching out because they are using more fuel, it sounds like, than what was contracted.
Yeah,
It
that's how I
sounds,
interpret it. Yeah.
yeah, so it sounds like it may be good to communicate proactively when they're starting to get close to their contracted gallons that were planned. So that way they kind of know what's coming, rather than having to, be surprised at the end with like a large settlement bill, maybe during the off month. Let's say like it wraps up in May and June's your settlement month and then restarts in July. I would recommend sending out communications. Maybe that's like a letter to all the customers who are, approaching their gallonage, and just kind of explain that, to give them a heads up. And also potentially increasing the estimate on their fuel gallonage for the following year would probably help to avoid that, because nobody wants to kind of be surprised with a large bill at the end of the season either. So those would be my recommendations for that.
Yeah, something that just came to mind for me too is, depending on how quickly they're using that gallonage, it could maybe be something that you adjust the pricing before the end of the season if it seems like it's going to go way over. But yeah, I think the proactive communication with the customer would be really helpful, just letting them know what's happening and where they're headed with their payments.
Yep, we have had customers before. We have people every year send out letters through us. And so they'll send out letters to people, hey, just a heads up, like budget plan enrollment's happening soon, like be on the lookout, or, this is the amount we're predicting. They send out that information. So I would just say, keeping the customer communication in mind. And you could also choose to include some like suggested solutions in your letter. So let's say you're in February and you can tell someone's going to go over their estimated gallonage for the year. Maybe you send out a letter, dear Mrs. Jones, we've had a really cold winter and we've had some people, start to approach the estimated gallonage for the year. Here are some suggestions that we have available to you. If you'd be interested in any of these, please feel free to reach out and we'd be happy to discuss them further. Any other questions, Kim? That was a good one.
Nope, that's the only one I have in here.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We really appreciate your time. Thank you for being on here, spending your lunch hour with us, and we hope you have a great rest of your week.